Namo Namah. Tips to teach yourself Sanskritam, also spoken Sanskrit, Sambhashana Sanskritam cha. Part 5, Krudantaha. Your co-student S.L. Abhyankar. Having studied Avyayani, Subantaha and Tigantaha and some conversational Sanskrit in the previous 4 parts, now on to Krudantaha. Krudantaha are so called because they are Krutantaha. That is, they have at their ending a suffix pratyayaha from a set of pratyayaha, which set has a grammatical name Krut pratyayaha. Note, Krut pratyayaha are many. Krudantaha is also formatted from the verbal root, that is a dhatu. I have book Krut pratyaya Vishleshana, in which Dr. Gopabandhu Mishra has discussed as many as 139 Krut pratyaya. In Ashtadhyayi, the domain Adhikaraha of Sutram 3-1-93 Krudating, Krut a thing, extends up to Sutram 3-4-76 Ktodhikarane cha Dhravyagati Pratyavasanarthebhya. So, the domain encompasses as many as 498 Sutrani, from where Dr. Gopabandhu Mishra would have picked up 139 Krut pratyaya. But within this domain is Sutram 3-3-1 Unadayo Bahulam, for which there is an annex of Ashtadhyayi called as Unadipatha, having Panchapadaha, and therein 748 Sutrani. So, Krut pratyaya are numerous. This is just for information. A beginner may focus on only these 13. Kta, Ktavatu, Ktva, Lyap, Tum, Nul, Truch, Shatru, Shanach, Yat, Nyat, Tavyat, Aniyar. These 13 are selected because they have a significant role in construction of phrases and sentences. Let us study these Krut pratyaya with that specific perspective of what significant role they play in construction of phrases and sentences. Kta. This suffix pratyaya affixes only as ta. For example, kta krudantaha of dhatu kru is kruta. Note, kru means to do. Kruta means done. In English, done is the past passive participle of to do. The English word passive should not be translated to mean karmani prayoga, because in Sanskrit there is change of voice for intransitive verbs also. So passive may rather be translated as akartari prayogaha. In Sanskrit, kruta, akta krudantaha is an adjective and is a pratipadikam and is used in a sentence by its subantaha, because kta krudantaha is obtained from a dhatu. It is often used in the role of a dhatu, that is, in the role of a verb. For example, he has done the job. Tena karma krutam. Literally, tena by him, karma the job, done krutam. By him the job has been done. Note, the words has been make the verb complete in English as has been done. The word krutam can be translated that way. But tena krutasya karmanaha vivechanam anavashyakam. There is no need to have discussion of work done by him. In both these examples, because kruta is the kta krudantaha of dhatu kru, which is transitive, kruta has passive voice inherent. He, the doer, is with the preposition by, note, then by him. Tena, by him. In tena krutasya karmanaha, both the words krutasya and karmanaha have napusakalingam shashti ekvachanam, because the rule is that both the adjective and the noun must have the same subanta formatting. Here, napusakalingam shashti ekvachanam. Note, basically the noun karma has neuter gender, napusakalingam, and karmanaha is its subantam by shashti ekvachanam. Krita is the adjectival pratipadikam and kritasya is subantah by napusakalingam shashti ekvachanam. The phrase tena kritasya karmanaha is to be literally translated as of the work done by him. For another example, see the word samavetaha in the very first shlokaha of Gita. Note, samavetaha is pullingam prathama bahuvachanam of samaveta, which is ktakrudantaha of dhatuhu samave. Samave is sam plus ava plus e. Note, in sam plus ava plus e, sam means together, ava down, e to go. So samave, to go down together, to assemble. Ktakrudantaha of dhatuhu e is it. Ktakrudantaha of dhatuhu samave is sam plus ava plus it samaveta. For the two are means to assemble. Dhatuhu samave is intransitive. But to assemble a kit, dhatuhu samave is transitive. Ktavatu. This pratyaya affixes only as tavat. For example, tavatu krudantaha of dhatuhu kru is kru plus tavat, krutavat. One can also think that tavatu krudantaha is extension of the kta krudantaha by further suffixing it with vat. Now, whereas kta krudantaha has akartari prayogaha inherent, tavatu krudantaha helps to transform that akartari prayogaha to kartari prayoga. Transformation of tena karma krutam, which is in akartari prayogaha, to kartari prayogaha would be saha karma krutavan. Note, tena by him changes to saha, he. Saha is pullingam prathama ekvachanam of tat. Accordingly, krutavan is pullingam prathama ekvachanam of krutavat. For change of voice, for tena krutasya karmanaha vivechanam anavashakam, the change of voice has to be done only for the phrase tena krutasya karmanaha. I would do it as yat karma saha krutavan tasya vivechanam anavashakam. Literally, discussion is not necessary. Vivechanam anavashakam. Of what job he is the doer of. Yat karma saha krutavan. Note, tena krutasya karmanaha is changed to yat karma saha krutavan tasya, which is as good as a subclause of what job he is the doer of. A subclause has its own verb. Both kruta and krutavat are obtained from dhatuhu kru and have the capability to serve the function of a verb. This means that phrases with kta or ktavatu become clauses, even if there is no other explicit tiganta. Now, pratyaya ktva, also lyap. These are two suffixes, pratyaya here. Ktva affixes as tva and lyap affixes as only ya. The two are considered together because both serve the same function, but in different instances. When the subject word executes two or more actions, the actions previous to the last, action or actions previous to the last, are mentioned by these pratyaya. For example, in the last shlokaha of Prathamodhyaya of Gita, the sentence is Arjunaha evam uktva sacharam chapam visrujya rathopastaha upavishat. There are three actions of the subject Arjuna. First, evam uktva, on so saying. 2. Sacharam chapam visrujya, putting down his bow and arrow. And 3. Rathopastaha upavishat, sat down on the side of the chariot. The first action of saying is mentioned by uktva, ktva krudantaha of dhatuhu vach, to say. The second action of putting down is mentioned by visrujya, lep krudantaha of dhatuhu visruj. Note, there is lep krudantaha of dhatuhu visraj because there is the prefix upasargaha vi with dhatuhu sruj. By that, dhatuhu visruj is a sopasarga, sa plus upasarga dhatuhu. So, when the dhatuhu is a sopasarga dhatuhu, sa plus upasarga dhatuhu, one uses lep krudantaha. When dhatu is not a sopasarga, sa upasarga dhatu, it is anupasarga. Anupasarga. One uses tvakridanta. Now, fourth krit pratyaya, tumun. Also, truch and nul. I would like to study these in this order. The logic is that on one hand, nul has a correlation with tumun, as detailed in the sutram 3-3-10. Tumun nulau kriyayam kriyarthayam. On the other hand, nul has a correlation also with truch, as detailed in sutram 3-1-133. Nul truchau. So, it would be good to understand tumun and truch individually and then see how nul kridantaha, rather nulantaha, serve the meanings of both tumun and truch. Tumun. This pratyaya affixes only as tum. A kridantaha with pratyaya tum is also called as tumantaha, tum antaha, having tum in its ending. An example of tumantaha is kartum from dhatu kru. Kartum means doing. A tumantaha is used in two ways. For example, kartum na shakyam, doing is not possible. Note, kartum, doing, denote the action, kriya of doing. Another way, in militum gacchami, I am going to meet, that is for meeting. Here, the meaning of militum is for meeting, for the action of meeting, for the purpose of meeting. The purpose of an action is kriyartha. So, use of tumantaha is in two ways. One, to denote the action, kriya, to denote kriyartha, the purpose of an action. Note, in kartum na shakyam, doing is not possible. Kartum, doing, is the subject word. But there are no subantaha of a tumantaha. It is indeclinable. It has avyayi bhavaha, an adverb of purpose or of reason. Truch. Now the pratyaya truch. This affixes as tru. A trujantaha, truchantaha is adjectival and has the meaning of doer of that action which is inherent to that dhatu. Some examples of trujantaha are kru, kartru, karta, kartri, ru, hartru, harta, hartri, da, datru, data, datri, dha, dhatru, dhata, dhatri, gam, gantru, ganta, gantri, han, hantru, hanta, hantri, drush, drashtru, drashta, drashtri. Now, nul pratyaya. We need to study nul in both of its correlations. With tumun, Vayad Sutram 3-3-10, tumun nulau kriyayam kriyarthayam. That is, we have to study nul for its usage as kriya and as kriyartha. We need to study nul in its correlation with truch also. Vayad Sutram 3-1-133, nul truchau. In addition, there are specific usages of truch. Vayad Sutram 3-3-108, rogaakhyayam nul bahulam. Basically, nul affixes as ak. Nulantaha of a few dhatavaha are jan, janakaha, janaka, ranja, ranjaka, dhru, dharaka, ru, haraka. Note, meaning of janaka, the nulantaha of jan is the same as janitru, the trujantaha of jan. Similarly, ru, hartru, haraka, drush, drashtru, darshaka. A popular example explaining similarity between nul and tumun is bhojakaha vrajati. One who eats goes about. This is same as bhoktum vrajati, goes about to eat, for eating. Note, bhojakaha is nulantaha of bhoj, whereas bhoktum is tumantaha of bhoj. There is a grammatical difference between nulantaha and tumantaha. Nulantaha is adjectival. Harakaha, darshakaha, bhojakaha, janakaha, adjective. Nulantaha is adjectival. and there would be subantaha of nulantaha because it is adjectival. There will be subantaha of nulantaha. Tumantaha is indeclinable. It has avyayi bhavaha. The third type of usage of nul is rogakhyayam nul bahulam. There is nulantaha can be one, a noun for some affliction. For example, from dhatu pravah, pravahika. Another usage of nul is akhyayam, a narration. For example, dhatu kru, from dhatu kru, karika, nul. Although nul affixes as occur, there are also variants. Much of the study of nulantaha by Sutram 3-3-108 Rogakhyayam nul bahulam is etymological than grammatical. It is good enough to know the meanings of the words like pravahika, karika. It is not mandatory to know that pravahika is nulantaha of dhatuhu pravah and karika is nulantaha of dhatuhu kru. May I take a pause before proceeding with the study of Krudantaha with 7 more Krutpratyayaha. Shubhamastu.